It is a Wednesday morning in late August when I step out of my Mother-S silver Audi. The tires crunching over what is supposed to be a parking lot, but is really just fist-sized rocks flung across red Georgia clay. I am wearing my grandmother-S pearls because I thought they might protect me from the ordinary cruelties of the world. They do not. The sun is already a cruel coin pressing against the crown of my head, and I am clutching a parchment schedule that tells me my first class is in Building D. There are no signs, only buildings that look like stacked shoeboxes wearing lipstick. I wander, sweating, for 23 minutes. Every step I take is a tiny betrayal of the dreams sold to me by a glossy brochure that promised tree-lined colonnades and mentors who would know my name. Instead, I meet a cicada shell clinging to the door handle of Building B, and I think, even this bug had the sense to abandon its skin and fly away. I find the classroom. The air inside is the temperature of forgotten soup. The desks are plastic islands, each one scarred with initials that look like cries for help. The professor arrives 11 minutes late. He is wearing a pink polo that still has the factory creases in it, as if he was unpacked from a box this morning. He plugs in a USB drive, and the projector coughs up a slide that says syllabus available online. Then he sits on the edge of the table, swings his legs like a child, and announces, "Teach yourselves, I am only the facilitator." I feel my ribcage tighten. I am 18, I have crossed an ocean to be here, and the person paid to teach me has just confessed he will not teach. The girl beside me begins to cry, very quietly, the way one cries when one is too tired to ask for justice. Her tears land on the laminate desk, and they do not even reflect light. At noon, I attempt to nourish myself. The dining hall is a warehouse of metallic echoes. The chicken sandwich I purchase is served in a plastic clamshell that fogs up like a car crash. The patty is the color of a Band-Aid that has been left on too long. I bite. It squeaks. The texture is simultaneously fuzzy and rubbery, as if someone pulverized a kitchen sponge and reanimated it with salt. I swallow and my throat files a complaint. This is the first meal of my college life, and it tastes like punishment. I think of my babushka-s coddledy, how she would fry them in butter and dill, how the whole house would fill with the smell of being loved. Here, the only scent is industrial grease and lemons scented bleach trying to hide something shameful. I pay $11.49 for this experience, and the cashier does not look at me. She is scrolling on her phone. I realize I am paying for her apathy as well. After lunch, I try to find a quiet place to read Virginia Woolf because I still believe literature can save me. The library is closed. A printed sign taped to the door says early closure for power conservation. It is 1:07 p.m. The sun is literally baking the solar panels on the roof, but the school is conserving power. I laugh, and the laugh comes out like a crack in antique glass. I sit on the concrete outside, which is also crumbling, and pebbles press into my thighs like tiny accusations. Every time I shift, skin is scraped. I begin to underline sentences in my book, but the ink bleeds because the humidity is a wet dog breathing on my neck. I miss Moscow autumn, the way leaves would commit beautiful suicide in perfect choreography. Here, the leaves look tired and simply give up, falling like receipts for things you never wanted. By 3:00, I need to use a lavatory. The one I find is in the student center, a building that smells of burnt popcorn and anxiety. The stall door lock is broken, so I have to hold it shut with one hand while I hover above the seat. Someone has written in Sharpie on the tile wall, "GGC eats souls." I stare at that graffiti and understand it is not hyperbole. When I flush, the toilet paper retreats backward like
a shy creature leaving me unclean. I wash my hands, but the soap dispenser only spits a fart of air. The water is lukewarm, the color of weak tea.
The businesses that cluster around Georgia Gwinnett College in Lawrenceville share a common mood of disappointment and missed expectations. Most of them seem to promise much and deliver very little, leaving visitors with a feeling that something vital has been lost. This pattern appears in the way stores are run, how food is served, and how hospitality is expressed. The large retail hub that calls itself Sugarloaf Mills feels less like a modern outlet center and more like a chaotic swap meet. Shoppers arrive with excitement, only to discover a maze of off-brand stalls that give the impression of a flea market rather than a polished shopping destination. The Nike store, which should be a highlight, appears cramped and underwhelming, and the overall atmosphere is described as noisy and crowded, with restrooms that are neglected and a food court that shuts early, leaving families to wander empty corridors. The experience feels as if the mall was built for locals who know its quirks, while visitors from out of town leave confused and let down. Across town, the spa and wellness space known as Jeju Sauna was once praised for its calm Asian vibe, yet it now resembles a tired relic. The sauna rooms and massage tables are described as worn, the mats appear unclean, and the privacy of the changing areas is compromised by thin curtains that do not contain sound. Guests report rude staff who ignore requests, dishes that are served dry and cold, and a culture that has faded away. Some visitors even felt discriminated against or unfairly removed from the wet sauna, an experience that turned a relaxing visit into a stressful confrontation. The overall feeling is that the spa once offered a sanctuary, but now it feels more like a place where the staff have forgotten the importance of respect and hygiene. Restaurant experiences at Taqueria Los Hermanos illustrate a similar decline. The once lively Mexican eatery now serves cold tortillas, dry steak, and food that tastes as if it were taken from a frozen cafeteria line. Prices have risen unexpectedly, with extra charges added for sauces that were previously complimentary. Families are surprised to find an automatic tip added to their bill even when the restaurant is nearly empty, creating a sense of being taken advantage of. The staff appear inattentive, leaving guests waiting for refills or additional plates for long periods. The combined effect is a dining experience that feels more like a costly mistake than a celebration of Mexican flavors. Boulder Creek Coffee aims to be a welcoming neighborhood cafe, yet it often feels like a test of patience. Customers describe long waits for simple drinks, sometimes waiting half an hour for a single latte, while baristas chat with each other instead of serving patrons. The service is frequently described as rude, with staff making dismissive comments or refusing to acknowledge waiting customers. The food side of the menu, such as avocado toast, is criticized for using pre-made spreads on stale bread rather than fresh ingredients, leaving guests feeling overcharged for a substandard dish. Although the coffee itself may be decent, the overall atmosphere is marred by slow, unfriendly service that turns a casual coffee break into an ordeal. The dining room known as Local Republic once offered a modern menu, but recent accounts suggest it has lost its culinary spark. Meals are reported as lukewarm, with fries that sit soggy and burgers that arrive cold or overcooked. Some diners have even.
Businesses near Georgia Gwinnett College, Lawrenceville. You know they can be tricky, like pretending to be something they are not. Like that car dealership on Scenic Highway. 2 men worked there saying they were managers, telling people to pay thousands for cars that never came. They took the money and ran. The customers, left with nothing, probably crying in their hotel rooms, wondering how they fell for it. The dealership fired them, but the men are still out there, somewhere, laughing. That is just wrong. And then there are the stores selling fake things. You walk in, it looks nice, like a real shop, but the clothes, the bags, the electronics. All fake, tourists buy them thinking they got a deal only to find out later, probably felt so stupid. The police seized millions in counterfeit goods, but the stores? Some knew, some did not. Does not matter. Tourists still got scammed. Then there was that beauty supply scam. People paid over $100,000 to start businesses and nothing happened.